action.
Oh, that wasn't in sync. Let's do it again.
And
action. One more time.
And action.
Yes, that was great.
Yeah, third time's a charm.
Yeah, third time's a charm. Hey y'all.
What's going on, y'all?
It's Mich.
It's Kui.
And this is
The Raw.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and send this to 3 of your friends. And when you send it to 3 of your friends, ask that they also send it to 3 of their friends.
And that is the disclaimer that'll be running alongside the bottom of the video, just in case you didn't read it, just so that you know it is the disclaimer.
Thank you so much for that. She had to show you that is indeed a disclaimer, so please make sure that you do send it to 3 people and that you send it to 3 people as well. If not, your car might get booted.
Exactly. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with your friends.
But where am I supposed to park?
Come on. Every day?
If I'm going to go right there.
Oh, y'all must have. Oh my gosh, I'm dead. No, you guys. So today we have, as you guys can tell, is a Greek video. It is January, and January is a good amount of Founders Days for the Divine Nine, and so we have come together just to share a little piece of ourselves with you, in case you guys didn't know.
Yes.
So we're just gonna kick it off, and so by way of introduction, for people who don't know about Greek life, I am a member of the illustrious Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and so this is our emblem right here, and our Founders Day is January 13th, 1913.
Hey y'all, and I am a member of the Oh So Pretty Do or Die Theta Pi chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Oh my God! Don't take me back! Don't take me back! Don't take me back! Don't take me back! Don't take me back!
Oh no, stop!
Oh
Make
my
sure my
gosh.
eyes are, you know, it's been a minute.
I'm weak. Okay. Ooh. To my sorors. Oh my gosh.
So, funny enough, people be like, oh my gosh, y'all have so much in common. Well, I crossed April 9th, 2017, and she crossed
April 9th, 2017. And if that isn't insane, like, I don't know what to say, because they always say that behind, or like every Delta has an Alpha best friend, and every Alpha has a Delta best friend.
Yeah.
And like, I just feel
I
like,
haven't found mine yet.
and I just feel like we are literally the epitome. Like, it's so crazy.
It's so crazy. Like, same day, like, we were in like literally different like parts of the world. Like, she was like in Columbia, like she definitely got to the Ivy League thing, like it's so cool.
Yeah, and then she got to the public Ivy League at UNC Chapel Hill. It's the public Ivy League, so cool.
And like it was just like, how did that happen?
Yeah, it was actually really crazy.
So we're gonna do like a few general questions to talk about our experiences for our organizations, and I will just add that these are our own personal experiences and reflection of our organization. They're not to be extrapolated amongst the entire D9 or other members in different chapters of the same organizations. We're simply speaking from our experiences and our beloved.
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask us. But like she said, it is our experiences. So
yes, so we'll start with the first question. Why did you choose to join your org?
Yes. Okay, so for me, I was raised in a Ghanaian household, right? And so there's not really too much information behind like Greek organizations, but as I was growing up in DeKalb County, that was one of the first places that I was exposed to Greek orgs. My teachers and just like the life of like Greek organizations was something that was I was very curious about it. And then in high school, I had a teacher, Miss Vaughn, shout out to Miss Vaughn. And I think that everyone has kind of a story of like, there's like that 1 or 2 women who were very influential in their life, and who really like got them interested in like the organization, because like they were the embodiment of the type of women that they wanted to become or inspired them to become. And so that was Miss Vaughn for me. She was my high school language arts teacher. And she actually encouraged me to sign up for a scholarship for Delta Sigma Theta sorority when I was applying for college. And I ended up getting that scholarship, which like bless. And yeah, definitely. So once I got onto my college campus, I was curious to see whether or not they were active on our campus, and I was lucky enough to do so. And one of the things I will note is that like different chapters are different. Like Micheline said, they're not the embodiment of the entire organization, and so it's really important to see that you can connect with the chapters and the women in the chapter as well. And the women in my chapter are very dope. Okay, real chapter pop out, and so that was also one of the reasons. And honestly, I just felt like the connection from there, and that was the reason why I was like, yes, this is it. And just looking through history, like the women and the leaders who are part of my organization, they've done amazing things, and so why not be a part of that history, you know? Yeah,
it's beautiful. Thank you, Ben. Yeah. But I mean, similar to that too, I also had someone earlier on, though, again, also African background, so didn't have much information, like we said. But mine was like two things. One, I have like cousins, the Chisas. All of them, the three of them, 3 of the 4 brothers were alphas. So they all went across alpha. So they were just very, they were already like, oh, you know, Micheline, she going whatever, had their own little, you know, aspirations for me. But they were my first like exposure, like real life exposure from the family perspective to Greek life. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. And like whenever we do like holidays at their house, like one of my cousins, Ruben will always bring like his best friend Jesse, who was also an alpha, and was like, they were literally like brothers. And I was like, wow, like that is so cool. And then in middle school, I had a guidance counselor who like stepped into my life, and like they basically took me under her wing and was like a mother, like a legitimate mother figure to me. And in like that moment, I didn't know that Miss Lloyd was an AKA, although now that I look back, everything about her
makes sense, huh?
Was Alpha Kappa, Alpha Sorority Incorporated, baby. Ask about Miss Lloyd. And so like those 2 experiences, and then finally when I got to campus and like I was able to start piecing things together, and I was like, like this is definitely something that I would like to pursue. And of course I had Miss Lloyd's support, and I got on campus. Theta Pi. I was like, I need to be a part of that. Like I need to be whatever. Like the thing about Theta Pi is like you won't even know someone's Theta Pi, but you will feel that they were Theta Pi. And I wanted that type of like transient impact where you don't have to say nothing and it's already known what's good. I was like, I love that.
Yeah.
And so went from there.
Yep. And I think that one of the things that Micheline noted, right, like talking about what is it, Chisa and Jesse, talking about Chisa and Jesse, and how they actually seem like real brothers. Like it's really about the sisterhood at the end of the day, and like just being able to see how that works, right? Like you guys aren't blood, you guys haven't known each other for your entire lives. That is still very like palpable, right? Like you can see the sisterhood, and you can see, vocab, you don't come through with it.
I didn't even know.
What's wrong with you? Yeah. That was a good one too. That was it.
Very probable.
Yeah, you know, we're studying for our GREs, and so we'll be dropping our vocab words and allow it. Yeah. That's something that you could see. It was very clear, and it was something that like I also really loved about the organization. So our second question, Micheline, since you have the question, I'm not gonna sit here and play myself. The second question, take it away, sis.
I know this tweet that you're very much giving this tweet.
What?
And I was like, hey, would you like to jump in on this one? Corporate. And I'm gonna like Sarah jumping on this one.
I'm gonna volunteer you to go ahead.
Oh my god. Okay.
Who is giving that?
Our second question that we're gonna have tonight for this.
What you think about the question?
Oh man. God. Okay. Can you retell a time, a moment, experience that to date for you would be the most memorable experience in your organization?
Yes. There's so many.
Yeah, so many.
Yeah, there's so many memories. You know, spring 17.
Yeah, it's just been like a long time.
Yeah, so long. You know what?
Yeah.
I have this one memory that is just like so beautiful to me whenever I think about it. And it's not a large memory, but it was just like the way it made me feel. You know how sometimes it's like you can't remember what someone says, but you remember the way that they make you feel. Like that's a lasting impact. Looking at you, I can never take anything serious.
No, it's just like you are Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, thank you. I tried. William Shakespeare just wouldn't do it for you.
Kevin, right here.
Okay. But the memory is once we crossed, me and my line sisters, we went over to one of my profile Glenda's house, and like she. No.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you know all of my memories though. It was like you were there. No, seriously, it's almost like. We went over to her house and she had made like some good old like Southern comfort food, like that greens. Okay, whatever. And it was a time where they like taught us our strolls, right? But it was just very like comfortable. Like I felt like I had known them for a long time, and it was the place where I felt like, you know, the sisterhood was building, and I was like, wow, this is so beautiful, because it was like older profiles and then us, right? And the age difference was definitely there, but it just felt like I had big sisters that was over here teaching me stuff, and it was really cute, and I really enjoyed it. We were there probably till like the late morning hours, just like talking and like bonding and learning strolls and just getting lit. It was a fun time.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, sounds like home. Go girl, tell your story. Go girl.
Oh my gosh. For me, yeah, like Kui said, like they're endless. Honestly, the memories are endless. Because I also have like a good bit of line sisters in Atlanta, and we having some good times. But I will say, summer before my senior year was a very like career pivotal summer for me, and it's when I knew that I had to lock in that internship that summer to secure a full-time job to appease the stress of like senior year. And so I was very focused on ensuring that I positioned myself for that full-time offer. And so I had an internship at EY, and I was put on a client in Charlottesville, and it was a travel heavy client. So like my first day, I go and I like meet them. One of the people that I work with, I meet him at like the hotel where we were all staying, and so we're having like intros, just like this is what you're going to have to do, and of course, you know, when you cross, you got the big lanyard, you got the bracelet.
Girl, you got it all.
I had everything. Okay, I definitely have my bracelet
The
and I have my
license plate.
lanyard, like all that. And so he had seen my lanyard, and he was like, "Oh, you're AKA." I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, I'm a Q, and like instantly it was like, "Oh, like you're my little sis, like I got you under my wing." He was like, "I know exactly who you have to meet." And he ended up giving me an intro to who was gonna actually be my direct manager, and she was a soror.
Oh,
and it was just like literally like I met her, and like he introduced me. He was like, "Oh, this is your soror. Like she's gonna be on our team." It was Aya, and I was like, "Oh, like you know, I'm gonna be your manager for the summer." But like from that moment, it was like locked and loaded. Like he was a Q, she was a soror, and they were just like, "We got you." And like when they say they got me, like I believe them, and they really, really did. Like they went off with like all my feedback, and like would like really like train me and ensure that I was like well equipped, and not that they were just like sliding me or letting me skate or whatever. Like they were still requiring that I perform to the highest possible level, but they were being very diligent about the fact that like they wanted me to succeed, and they were actually like invested in my success, and I just felt protected, and I felt like I was good, which you know, doesn't be know my story. I got the full-time offer. I went big. I did what I had to do, baby. They held it down, and I was just like, wow, it's like enormous. Like it goes so far beyond like yes, my chapter is my heart and my home, but it's like sorors around everywhere.
No, you wanted to laugh when I said home, but now you just said it, so I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's funny. Sorors everywhere, and then just other members of the D9 are like looking out for you, like ready to go to bat for you, and I was just like, this is beautiful.
Yeah. And it's just like the network is insane, man.
It
like
is.
It's actually crazy. And like people you won't even know, like you'll just have a conversation with them and somehow it comes up, and it's just like another layer of being familiar with them, and just like being able to build those connections. And that, like, are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. So a little twist on this question. Oh, okay. So another memory, but make it undergrad and like line sister specific.
Oh, I like that. Okay. Oh, I have the perfect one.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Can't wait to hear it.
Okay, so I ran track in college, and there was this one major meet at the University of Pennsylvania called Penn Relays, and my line sisters, they like planned to come and surprise me and all that other stuff, and I didn't know. And it's like one of those things where it was like, I think it was like maybe my first or second Penn Relays, but Penn Relays is a really big one. Like people from Jamaica, the islands, like everywhere fly out, and it's like the arena is packed, right? And I was the anchor leg on the 4x4, and so like, yeah, that, you know, hold it down or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was just like, you know, like you're naturally gonna feel like some type of jitters and pre-race, whatever. And it was so beautiful because like they almost like they were really rushing because they actually missed their first bus, had to get on a second bus, and at first like they were like, is it even worth it, because like they might have missed when I started running based off of the time. Like did that trek and like planned everything, made me posters, made me flyers, all of that other stuff, and came to my track meet. And then like right before I was about to run, I saw them in the corner and they were like shouting and screaming for me. And like I feel like that just gave me like the boost of extra like confidence and energy that I needed, just to see that like my line sisters would go out of their way to like come and support me and just like cheer me on. And so that was just like such a really beautiful moment. And then we actually ended up meeting our stands who went to UPenn, crossed at UPenn Gamma chapter. And that was also really beautiful as well, because that was our first time meeting them and we bonded with them as well. And so that was a really great time. And then we really took that bus ride home together. But it was like a really good bonding. It was like 4 or 5 hours. Ooh, girl, I'm telling you.
I had to watch it on TV.
Don't do that. That's not even
Don't
cute.
do that.
Don't do that.
It's a joke. God.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Sorry, bad joke. I'm not Kevin.
Hello, Kevin.
Kevin, are you there?
Are you there?
You can
We're
stay
outside.
tonight. She's not doing
We're
well.
outside. Come on. Okay, you. Yeah, you do have a lot of line sisters though.
I do.
It should be a good
22
one.
line sisters. Oh. Whew, so 2017, we crossed in April. And we were just like, we want to do everything, da, 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 da. Like, we just we're, you know, Theta Pi is here. Like, we were just like everywhere doing everything. And so, step show fell through for UNC. So UNC wasn't having a step show. We were like, we still want to do a step show. So here we go, entering ourselves into a step show at North Carolina, NCCU. So across the street, HBCU in North Carolina, or whatever. So we're like, we want to compete, so we're gonna go. And at first we were like so excited to do it. Then we were like, we really put ourselves into this step show at an HBCU just to insert ourselves because we just want to do something. And so we started having practices, and it is intense. Like when I tell you, we had the toughest like step mistresses. We had the twins and then Melissa. And if you know anything about the twins, when it's go, it's go. Like there was no playing around about step practice. We have step practice like remotely every day for hours on end. Like they were perfecting this show, and it was a lengthy show. So we're practicing for like months, and the step show actually ended up being October, our homecoming weekend. So at that point, they became like compounded stress because I was also running for Miss UNC, and my entire line was on my campaign committee. So we were trying to win a step show, trying to win Miss UNC. Step show was gonna end up being on a Friday. Miss UNC, or like the homecoming game, was on the next Saturday. So we were like stressed. Like everybody is just like losing it. A lot of pressures on the line. We're like, we gonna look real silly going all the way over there to put ourselves in this step show and then not placing or like not winning. And for us, it wasn't about placing. We wanted to win that step show. So there were like, we had a lot of like dynamic things incorporated into our show. So we had like audio, we had visuals, we had certain people that were only on like different parts of the show, and it was like sets. And so there were like really strict rules about going over time. Like if you went over time, you would lose enough points to dock you the win. Like you were essentially not winning. So step show day comes and we're like ready. Of course, everyone's like nervous, but we're like, okay, y'all, like we're in this together, like we're gonna do it, like let's go. We're on stage, step showing, right? And we're transitioning from like our first set to our second set. And the transition from our first set to our second set was like one song would finish, there was a song that would indicate that would then start the next part of the routine to the next set. We're sitting here holding, and the sound does not come. And so like the music has stopped. We're literally sitting here like this. And you know, first of all, that ain't you can't just sit there for a minute doing that, because people start wobbling around. Like we sitting here like thinking, okay, hold it. It's supposed to be like 5 seconds, and then you hear the sound and we transition to the next thing. The sound is not coming. And so we're looking around and like time is literally ticking. Like we timed our step show to the second. And so like I'm sitting there, and like in the story this seems like a minute, but in our heads it felt like forever. An hour. And literally out of nowhere, like my tail goes 5, 6, 7, 8, and then like we all just like go into like the next step, like we start stepping. And we think back to we won step show. We think back to this moment, and we were like, bro, like there was no way we could anticipate that moment happening. There was no way we could anticipate that our tail would then do a count off. And like we all started as if that was our routine. Like no one even noticed what had happened. We got backstage and we were like, Jada, freaking Bianca, like gold. And it was just like understanding that we were able in that moment, with a lot of pressure, with a lot of stress, face literally probably the end of our show, and like one of our line sisters steps in and everyone automatically reacted to her stepping in and saving the show. And I was like, that's how you move as one line. Like that, if our profiles got anything to be proud of, that was that moment right there. One line, one voice, one step. It's like
because I know folks is in there like,
when
the music about to drop,
I'm gonna show you the part. You can actually insert it. The part of that, this part is step show. It's on YouTube, because literally Mel starts to put her foot down and looks around. And she's like, puts it back, and then Jada Bianca's like 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're all like, okay.
We can do this.
We can do this.
No, and I love the initiative that she took, honestly, because somebody needed to do it.
Because it wasn't gonna be me. To be honest, I was sitting there in my head. I was like, this is the beginning and the end. Theta Pi go one right back to UNC.
God. No, seriously, I love that.
So let's close out with what are like your final / general sentiments about like your organization, or just being a part of the D9, to leave the folks with. So my biggest thing that I hold near and dear to my heart, and about like my organization and just D9 in general, especially like Theta Pi, is that like I joined my chapter understanding that this was a lifetime commitment. And every day is just reassurance of like what that is exactly. Like my line sisters are involved in every part of like my life. My line sister is my profile. It's like when we say like bonded for life, like it happens. Like I mean it, like it is what it actually is. And I feel like regardless of like where I go, what I'm doing, what I'm faced with in life, like I'm always going to have Theta Pi, and I'm always going to have Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and like there is nothing else like that anywhere. And I am so grateful to have that forever.
Absolutely. I gasped because I was like, ugh. lifetime for sure.
Yeah.
And I think just to add to that, I think that there's like, especially in undergrad, there's the common misconception of like it being about the strolling or it being about the clout. And once you're in it, you realize that like that is the least of what it's about. Like a lot of it is about the service, a lot of it is about the community, a lot of it's about the impact that these women were able to make and that we are led to charge to make after them, right? So like for me, it's like, you know, that's the thing that drew me to it is like the history and all of the amazing things that like my sorors, prophytes and such were doing. And so it's like continuing that charge, right? It's like passing the torch and understanding that like I also have a part to play in this sisterhood and in this community and making sure that like wherever I am, I'm creating this space and the platform for somebody else to uplift them and to create the opportunity for them to do something. And I think that's so beautiful. And so I'm also really grateful. I think that like it's something beautiful to see that you are able to connect with someone and not necessarily like have similarities, but still be able to find a place within yourself to connect with them and to be able to bond and build off of that. And so that's one of the things that like my organization has shown me, and I'm so grateful for it as well. Shout out to my sorors. Ooh.
Ski.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and so with that being said, January 13th is Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated's Founders Day, and January 15th is Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated's Founders Day. So to just make it easy, cash out your favorite Delta or AKA $1,900.
Yeah, exactly.
And so if you want to add the 13 or the 8, that's fine. It's up to you, but just still cash out them, and we'll also include ours. Michelle and simple, just $1,908.
That's nothing, honestly.
Yeah, like
our viewers are so wealthy. We just know that that's like literally a drop in the bucket for you guys.
So we like really appreciate it. And to all the other organizations that happy Founders Day to everyone else.
Yes.
Even, you know, November, December
folks.
Yeah.
The Qs and the Alphas. Like happy Founders Day to all of y'all. And much love. You know, it's always love in the Divine Nine. So later, y'all.
Bye. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe,
share with all of your friends, your mother, sister, brother, cousin, auntie, all of them.
All of them. And again, like we said, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment us, and we'll see y'all next time on The Raw. Bye, y'all.